Guys, so I just want to start up this video about Cyberpunk by just showing how much I've actually played this game. So I've played it almost 110 hours, so you can see 109 hours there. So just to give you an idea of where I'm at in the game. So we're now in the new year 2021. Happy New Year to everybody. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Cyberpunk because I feel like I've put in enough time into the game that I've like really broken down all the game's inner working parts and really understand how everything in the game works. And yeah, man, like I don't know. For me, it's like I'm coming from the perspective of being like a high-end PC gamer. I've got an RTX 3090. I've got an overclocked Core i9 9900. Um, so I'm coming from the perspective. I got like an LG OLED TV, 4K 120 hertz. So I'm coming at it from the perspective of someone who's running a game like Cyberpunk 2077 on like basically the best hardware you could run it on, and basically one of the best TVs you could run it on. So I'm coming at it from the perspective of somebody who's having like the arguably best experience somebody could have with this game. So yeah, I'm coming at it a little bit biased, but at the same time, understand that like that's how I'm playing every game now. That's how I'm playing Call of Duty now. That's how I'm playing Doom Eternal now. That's how I'm playing pretty much every game now. I'm running it on this PC on my TV. So that should not really be a factor in how I'm judging it outside of me being able to say, yeah, the console version of this game was definitely released too early. It should have been delayed indefinitely or outright canceled. I personally believe that Cyberpunk, basically, by the time they started really making the game, the scope of what the game was kind of escaped what the last gen consoles were capable of delivering to players. And I think that their core mistake that I will say they made is that they should have realized there is no real way to deliver the same kind of experience to like PS4 and Xbox One players. There's just no way around it. Like, the game is just too technically demanding. I mean, personally, playing it on a 3090, my perspective is that I don't understand how you could even run it on a PS5 or Xbox One Series X, because you're using AMD graphics cards in those consoles, and really the only way I've found the game becomes playable with everything maxed out and everything is you have to use DLSS, which you lose some of the detail, but it's like you lose a small portion of detail in exchange for the frame rate jumping up to like I'm running the game at like over 100 frames per second sometimes, like 120 FPS at times. Depending on where you are in the world, it could dip down to like 60 or even less than that in the luxury apartment area. But basically, I'm running the game at like the highest frame rate I think anyone's running this game with at least maxed out settings. If I tone down, like take off ray tracing, yeah, I could probably like hit rock solid 120, rock solid 144, maybe with only quality DLSS. But the trade off would be that the game looks dramatically worse without ray tracing. So I've played around with the settings a lot, and I find that like 4K maxed out settings with ultra performance DLSS, game looks really good and it performs really well. You can see what the game performs like to some extent on the videos I uploaded. Those videos are 4K, 60 frames per second as opposed to 120 frames per second. Because unfortunately, YouTube does not support high frame rate videos as of yet. I think they should get on that. High frame rate gaming is slowly becoming more normal as more people are now than ever into PC gaming. So, and I just want to let you guys think about something. Like, back in the day, man, back in the day, when say like Oblivion came out and this game had so many fucking bugs and so many glitches and so many weird things that would happen in the game that you'd be playing the game on like a laptop or some shit, and the laptop would just be overheating to high fucking heaven running Oblivion back in the late 2000s or whatever, and you'd show your friends something in the game and be like, look at this fucking shit, like this is retarded, like people glitching through the walls and stuck in weird positions and just like the game's crashing and shit. Like, it just happened. It was Oblivion, man. It was Elder Scrolls 4. It's one of the best games I've ever played in my life. And it was buggy, it was glitchy, it had problems. We didn't know if and when we were gonna get a patch. And you know what? We loved the fuck out of this game, man. We played the fuck out of this game. That's how it was. Yeah, the game had problems. Yeah, the game had bugs and glitches and shit. It was also one of, at the time, the best open world games ever made. It offered so much possibility to the player in terms of what you could do. Like, you could become a vampire and shit. You could do anything in the fucking Elder Scrolls 4. At least it felt like it at the time. And, we understood that when you make a game with that grandiose of a scope, yeah, bugs and glitches and shit will happen. So again, I say all that while maintaining that I do think that the console versions were so bad they should have been, at least the last gen console versions, are so bad they should have been canceled. My whole perspective is, man, like, I get the whole thing about, making these games open for everyone to play them. But at a certain point, you have to recognize, like, yeah, you can't really deliver the same experience on PS4. Even after they spend a year fixing bugs and so on, the game is still not really going to be like similar in experience to what like PC players were playing on day one. And yeah, PC players had glitches too. Like the game has crashed as well for me, but like it's just not to an extent where it bothers me. It's just not to an extent where I feel like it ruins the experience for me. And to talk about the experience of playing this game, like man, I've now pretty much sworn to myself that I want to like 100% clear this game before I even beat it. Like I haven't beat the game yet. I'm still in the middle of Act 2 and like I honestly just feel like I want to like do everything in the game. I want to do like every mini map little thing, every little side gig, every merc needed, every reported crime. I want to do everything, man, cuz there's so much detail to the game and like the reported crimes and like those assault in progress and things like that. Those are like the most low effort, I would say, things that are littered around the map. Because even like the random hidden secrets and the random side gigs, a lot of them have a lot of detail to it. There's like what you do in the side quests can change the outcome to somebody living or dying. You potentially getting a vehicle later on. There's a lot of things that vary based on what you do in these side quests, and they're so immaculately made that to me, it's almost like the side quests in this game are not that different from the main quests. Besides that, you are constantly pointed back into doing the main quest, but you don't have to. The main quest, really, the only thing I could say is that, yeah, it progresses the stories. Maybe if things in Night City will change more significantly based on the main quests, and, you know, they're more cinematically presented than the side quests are. There's more chance for cinematic things to happen in the game. But besides that, I don't really notice much difference between the main quests and the side quests. The main quests are usually centered around V, his cohorts, and Johnny Silverhand, and the side quests I find are much more focused on like Night City as a whole. Like during the side quests, you will deal with much more things going on in Night City, and to me, that's almost more charming than the story of V, which is why I'm like more interested in the side quests to some extent. And I've been pouring so much time into this game. My character's overpowered as fuck now, man. I got legendary mantis blades. I got an overture with like a 3.9 headshot multiplier and stealth multiplier, and it does like ridiculous base damage, and it has like a 50% critical chance, and it has like 80% critical damage. It's ridiculous. I'm headshotting people and doing like 50,000 damage, sometimes 60,000 damage. It's ridiculous. I'm level 37, and yeah, I almost wish I had learned more about like the hacking in this game. If I replay this game, I might go for a much more intelligence-based build, because I didn't realize how strong the quick hacking is. It's like Magic and Elder Scrolls if it was good, basically. It's fucking great, man. I All the different ways you can play the game, stealthy, like heads up with melee weapons, blade weapons, assault weapons, sniper rifles, all the guns, at least a lot of the guns that I've tried feel really good, man. And like, yeah, I don't know what to say. Besides that, I've been fucking loving the game. Um, yeah, man, like I've been having more fun with this game probably than any game I've played in like the past 10 years. And I think I'm at a point where I'm ready to say that. Like, I think I've enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077 more than any other game I've played in like the last 10 years. I think it's my favorite game of the past 10 years. I haven't even beaten it yet, but I'm willing to say that because I've just enjoyed the experience so much. I don't feel like I've been this immersed in a video game like since GTA 5, like since Oblivion. Like I'm just thinking of these big examples, and it's the only thing I can really compare this game to. And I feel like Cyberpunk is way better than both of them. I feel like it does a much better job in terms of delivering this concept of like an open world city with its own lore and its own factions going on, and just the depth, the verticality of Night City, double jumping everywhere is fucking fun as hell, man. You can shortcut the map so many times just through very careful use of the double jump. In my opinion, the best cyberware in the game, outside of like the weapons and stuff. I I have been having a blast with Cyberpunk 2077. That's the goddamn truth. Like, whenever I hear from somebody about, like, oh, the game's having so many problems, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, bro, when you tell me the console people are having problems, like telling me there's kids starving in Africa, it's like, yeah, I hope those kids, I hope they do better and stuff. I hope they get to eat and whatnot. But, like, at the same time, I'm gonna go to Red Lobster and have a steak and lobster right now because I'm living life to its fullest. So, like, that's what it feels like playing this game, man. Like, playing this game on this PC that I built here feels like everybody else is like eating stale McDonald's and like getting food sickness. And I'm over here having a gourmet dinner, like garlic shrimp and lobster and fucking steak and all this good shit. And I'm just chilling here and I'm just like, well, I'm sorry dinner did not go as well for you as it went for me. Like, that's all I can really, that's all I can really think to say in this situation, man. I feel like everybody who's playing the game on at least a 20 series GPU, at least a GPU that's capable of DLSS, tends to be having a much better time with this game than the people who are not playing it on PC. And even people with low end PCs are probably having a bad time. And that's just the thing. Cyberpunk 2077, give this game like 2-3 years, man. Let the game get patched, like heavy. Let them reach the point where they get out the mid generation whatever the hell they call it, the mid gen launch of the new consoles, the PS5 Pro or whatever. Wait until all that shit comes and people play Cyberpunk again, the new graphics cards come, the new CPUs come. Wait until that, like, basically they designed this game for hardware in 2077. Or at least 2027, let's say. The game is really demanding. Yeah, there's bugs. Yeah, there's problems with the games, but those all can be fixed. The thing is that, like, it's like we've reached this point where it becomes a question of, well, how much do you want to delay the game? Do you want to delay the game for another year? Do you want to delay it for another 2 years? How much delays is enough? At which point are you willing to declare the game is done? Like, and you can say that about anything. You can say that about a painting. You can say that's about a piece of music. At a certain point, the artist or the creator has to say, okay, it's done now. At a certain point. Did they say it was done too early with Cyberpunk? Perhaps in regards to the console, the last gen console version, perhaps they did say it too early. Um, but I don't really feel like the game is unfinished. I feel like the game has bugs and glitches and could use some more polish and use some more patches. But to say the game is unfinished, I feel like is to mislabel it. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I've barely scratched the surface of Night City. Like, there's so much more for me to do, and I will eventually, after whatever long it takes me to 100% clear this game, probably 200 fucking hours. After that, I will leave another review, but for right now, I just feel like I'm already ready to say, like, Cyberpunk 2077 is like an 11 out of 10 game. It's the best game I've ever played in my life. It's my favorite game of the last 10 years. I can't really think of another game where I got this immersed and this infatuated with the game. It's like it reminds me so much of Metal Gear Solid 5. Metal Gear Solid 5, I was like playing the game for 280 hours. I was doing like invasions. I was doing like every single side mission. I was doing so much in the game Metal Gear Solid 5. I was having a blast. I was like unlocking every weapon, every tech thing. Excuse me. I was having a blast, and I hear from all these other people they beat the game in 30 hours and they're disappointed with the game. And it's just like I don't know, it's like a moment where it's like it's almost a moment where I'm like wondering if people played the same game as me. Like it's when Tenet came out this year. I like wondered if everybody else saw the same movie. I thought it was one of the best Chris Nolan movies ever. Everybody else said it was terrible. Only me and my buddy seemed to like the movie. So I don't know. It really just feels like we live in a world where everything's bizarro world, man. Everybody sees a different outcome from what I'm seeing, and I don't know, man. I just think the game is fucking great. I think yeah, it needs some patches and some work, but the core game that's there is so good. You will never be able to convince me that Cyberpunk 2077 is a bad game. Perhaps a game that needs some more patches, but not a bad game by any means. And it's one of the best fucking games I've ever played in my life. So I just want to put that out there. That's how I feel about Cyberpunk, and yeah, man, like I'm still gonna be playing this game for years. I'm gonna beat it in a couple tens or possibly 100 hours when I 100% clear this game, and I'm gonna replay it when every time I upgrade my PC, every time they release new content for the game, I'm gonna replay it. When they release an online component, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna be playing this game for a long fucking time, and I know I am. And I'm happy about it, man, because I haven't enjoyed a game this much in a long time. So I just want to offer the perspective of like a high-end PC gamer perspective on this. And not everybody's going to agree with me. There's people who are playing the game on high-end PCs who will probably disagree with my opinion, but you know, everybody's got an opinion, so you know, justify why you feel the way you do, why you feel the way you don't, you know. So just put it out there. Let me know how you feel in the comments section. And thank you for watching, guys. I'm Mike Muhammad, and check my channel for more gaming related stuff. Like and subscribe, and you guys take care out there.